10 News begins with breaking news.
We all raced out, and then while we were racing out, we heard 3 more gunshots behind us. And it's just the scariest part is that you don't know where they're coming from.
16 seconds of terror on a Santa Clarita campus. Tonight, we are learning more about the accused teenage gunman who came to Saugus High School on his 16th birthday and shot 5 classmates, killing 2.
Multiple news agencies have identified him as Nathaniel Burhow. Police say he used a .45 caliber semi-automatic handgun to carry out his rampage. They say surveillance video shows him taking the gun from his backpack and shooting the victims in the quad before shooting himself in the head. Reporter Carlos Granda from ABC's affiliate in Los Angeles is at the campus tonight with the investigation into this tragedy.
It happened just as the school day started. The suspect went into the quad area of the campus and pulled out a .45 caliber handgun.
You heard the gunshots?
Yeah.
How was it at that moment? You were in class. What did you hear?
Well, I just heard like 4 shots, and it seemed like kind of far away, so I didn't know if it was real or not. And then like it came running in. It like really hit me.
6 students, including the gunman, were found in the quad suffering from gunshot wounds. Investigators say the suspect saved the last bullet for himself.
The weapon that he used was recovered at the scene. It's a .45 caliber semi-automatic pistol, which had no more rounds in it, had no more bullets in it.
This morning, when the alert went out of a gunman on campus, the school went on lockdown. Students hunkering down in their classrooms, locking their doors.
I was in a practice room, so I didn't know that anything was going on until the band director came in and told us that there was a lockdown. And there were a couple of police who put like flashlights through the window and stuff, and were looking around, which we didn't know what it was, so that scared us a lot.
Worried parents rushed to the school and to Central Park, which was set up so they could meet up with their kids. There were hugs and tears as parents and children were finally reunited.
You live in Santa Clarita, no matter how safe a city is, there's always a potential that something could happen. You never think it's going to be your hometown. And to see it happen, it's tragic. It really is.
Many are saying the shooting is a case in point tonight about the need to keep school safety officers and counselors on local campuses. 10 News reporter Anthony Pura is live in Vista, where the school district is planning to cut those resources. Anthony?
That's right. They decided to cut them back in their November 6th meeting. Now they're facing a backlash from the community. They're asking the board to undo that decision, saying that it is a safety concern. You can see this meeting still going on right now. It started back at 6 o'clock this evening, but right now they are still in there poring over that budget. A packed room with a passionate plea, parents asking the Vista Unified School Board to keep school resource officers and counselors on school campuses.
Everyone here tonight realizes that mental health services and law enforcement on school campuses is essential to student safety and to the safety of our workers.
SROs and mental health services became casualties of budget cuts as school administrators trimmed the budget by nearly $10 million in a meeting earlier this month.
And it took a while for it to sink into our community, and now we're all aware, and I think we're all on the same page.
The outcry comes on the heels of a deadly school shooting at a high school in Santa Clarita. It's a strong dose of reality for parents of the ongoing threat to campuses around the country.
My fear is that in light of recent events, especially, that we are creating the recipe in Vista for more unfortunate outcomes.
We seem to need constant reminders. We've had Columbine and Parkland and Sandy Hook, and on the day when we are pleading for safety, another tragedy hits.
Now, if this decision is not reversed, the cuts will kick in next school year. Now, again, we're waiting on a decision, and we will bring you updates on later editions of 10 News. We're reporting live tonight in Vista. Anthony Pura, 10 News.
You can stay on top of any new developments with this shooting by downloading our free mobile app. Just go to the App Store and search 10 News.
We have some breaking news from Bay Park, where a bicyclist was hit by a truck. Our photojournalist Paul Anderegg is live in the 10 News Breaking News Tracker. Paul.
You can see that bike here mangled on the ground here on Marina Boulevard near Ashton Street. The driver is over here by his Toyota pickup truck, which has some pretty significant front end damage to it. That bicyclist actually ended up underneath his car. Let's show you some video of what this looked like about a few minutes ago. This happened around 10 p.m. on northbound Marina Boulevard when the truck struck one of two bicyclists that was traveling up the road. And that bicyclist ended up going underneath the bottom of the truck. They thought he was trapped at first, but he was not. There was enough clearance under that truck. But that bicyclist suffered major head injuries. He was transported to the hospital for those injuries. We don't know his exact condition at this time. Police are holding the scene and treating it as a major injury investigation at this time, so it should be closed here for several hours. That driver's been given several DUI field sobriety tests to determine if he is under the influence. They're actually having another team come out here to continue to give more DUI evaluations. We're going to stay on scene here. We'll bring you some updates on 10 News this morning. Back to you.
Thank you, Paul. 10 News has uncovered new details about the FBI raid that led to a dramatic explosion this afternoon at a La Jolla beach house. Well, the bomb squad had to blow up dangerous chemical agents found in the home, and now we know what the FBI was doing there in the first place. 10 News discovered the search warrant. It reveals a Sorrento Valley company called Curtis Technology is accused of storing hazardous materials inside the homes of the owner. Along with the La Jolla location, the FBI also raided 2 homes in Rancho Penasquitos for the same reason. A 10 News crew went to both homes. We tried calling the company. We have not gotten an answer. Now to a crime alert. This man now under arrest accused of stealing hundreds of thousands from seniors that he was entrusted to care for.
Our 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena is in the Midway District where she spoke to the owner of that care facility about the crime.
We spoke to the owner of the Golden Living Senior Home tonight, and he tells us he was absolutely stunned by these allegations and tells us also that this has never happened before.
This is the man residents at the assisted living facility knew as George Gonzalez. We're told he worked as the executive director for the last year and a half, but this past Tuesday he was arrested by San Diego police, accused of stealing from the people he was entrusted to take care of.
What I was told was he had admitted what he had done.
Dan Salceda is the owner of Golden Living and tells us he had no idea of what was happening, and neither did other staff members.
This was an isolated incident. It had nothing to do with the facility, had nothing to do with anybody other than this one wayward person.
According to investigators, Gonzalez defrauded at least 3 residents of roughly $189,000. Although detectives didn't explain how it happened, Salceda told us what he's been able to figure out. One male resident had apparently given Gonzalez access to his checkbook.
The resident banker at Wells Fargo called my resident up and says, "Hey, what's all these checks, a lot of money."
He tells us another resident was making checks out directly to Gonzalez, not the facility. Salceda says he's angry and saddened by what's happened.
I'm just really trying to figure out how not to have that happen again.
San Diego police are asking anyone who thinks they might have been a victim in this case or know a potential victim to please contact the Elder Abuse Unit or Crime Stoppers. Reporting in the Midway District, Lindsay Pena, 10 News.
All right, now to a health alert. 3 unrelated cases of tuberculosis have been reported in San Diego County. 2 of them were at county jails. County Health wants to notify people who were possibly exposed between August the 20th and September the 6th at the Central Jail, from September the 6th to September the 15th at the George Bailey Detention Facility, and from October the 16th to the 18th at the Las Colinas Detention Center. The third person could have exposed people at the Newton Avenue Bridge Shelter from August the 20th to September the 9th.
And now to the impeachment inquiry into President Trump. The next round of public hearings will take place tomorrow. That includes a new witness. He is a State Department official who says he overheard a call between the president and EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland. Afterwards, Sondland reportedly told that official the president was more interested in investigations into the Bidens than Ukraine policy. Today, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called the president's actions bribery.
The bribe is to grant or withhold military assistance in return for a public statement of a fake investigation.
The president denies wrongdoing, and you can watch the impeachment hearings live on ABC 10 News starting tomorrow at 6 a.m. It's right after 10 News at 5.
President Trump is also asking the Supreme Court to block a subpoena for his tax returns. Since his candidacy, the president has changed his position frequently on the subject of his taxes. Under a deal to keep the Manhattan DA from enforcing that subpoena, he wants the court to decide the case by late June. The returns are held by Mr. Trump's accountants. A second similar case is headed to the court over a House committee subpoena demanding Trump's financial records from the same accounting firm.
Tonight, some members of the San Diego homeless community have a bed and a roof over their head for the first time in a long time. San Diego's 4th tented homeless shelter opened on Imperial Avenue and 17th today. There will be a total of 128 beds offered. Nearly 20 agencies will be on site offering services to fit people's needs. And the opportunity has some at a loss for words.
I can't tell you in words. But it feels so good to get off this concrete.
This and 3 other tent shelters have gotten 800 San Diegans off the streets in the past 2 years, and plans to open other locations are in the works.